Okay, guys, welcome to part three of the Homer walking animation. When we last left off, we basically finished our second frame, but there are a few things that we might need to clean up. So we need to clean up our shadows, right? Give our head a slight tilt forward. Um, Anything else we need to do? Let's go ahead and just start turning on the opacity and see what our Homer looks like. So this is our entire Homer. I'm going to turn on the opacity to full. And now you can see that some of our shadows are too big and some of our pants lines are too much. So we're going to, again, do some quick cleanup here. Okay, so let's go ahead. First things first. Um, let's go ahead and look at our shadows that we got going on here. Let's look at the first part that has a shadow is the shirt. The shirt right here um, has a inner and a drop shadow. The inner shadow doesn't like it's even showing at all, or if it is, it's very light. And then the drop shadow doesn't even seem like it's working at all. So let me go ahead and double click on the drop shadow, move our box over here, and let's just increase the distance. And oh, okay, so we see that it's there, but it's very light. Let's just make it darker for a minute and see what it looks like. Oops, 50%. Okay, so we see the drop shadow. Let's make the distance a little bit. Nope, I don't like the distance. Let's go size. So let's just make it a very vivid shadow. And again, we're not using the global angle. Let's just turn down our shadow right there. Give it a light drop shadow here. I'm just going to go like 5 pixels. Let's see what happens when we increase our spread. It goes too much on all the sides. We don't really want that. We don't want to spread around the other side. We really just want it right here at the pants line. So I'm going to give it just a little bit of distance. Okay, let's just give it 5 pixels worth of distance. And then turn down the opacity quite a bit, right? Because that shadow is just way too strong. So I'm going to go about 25%, something like that, just to give it a little bit of a shadow. And that looks good. I'm pretty pleased with it. Now the inner shadow, you can see here that around the edges, it brings a little bit of, oops, let me just click on that, not stroke, I meant inner shadow. Okay, so you can see that the shadow is kind of too big. I'm going to decrease the size by half, right? So it just gives a slight outline. If I turn it on or off, you can see that there's a slight shading on the outside here. I'm not worried about the distance. Distance looks fine. Spread looks fine. Maybe I'll go a little bit more, maybe 12 pixels. Okay. And again, you can make it more vivid if you want. Like, again, I'm not going to do too crazy here. 25%, 30%, somewhere around there. Give it a little bit of shadow. That looks good. Let's go ahead and move on to the right leg. So the right leg has this extra seam here, and because the shadow is kind of too big around here and here, so I'm going to go ahead and click on the effects and see what we can do here. Um, I'm going to double click here, go to the inner shadow. Let's spread down the distance is way too much. Let's cut it in half. Let's go to 5. Let's spread down the size of it. Let's make that only 5. And now we got pretty good shadow here. 50%, some soft light. Looks good. We need to obviously fix this a little bit, so we might have to go a little bit higher on the distance, and that sort of gets rid of it. Maybe if we make it 1 pixel smaller, okay, pretty much disappears here. Okay, that looks good to me. I'm gonna go ahead and hit OK. So that goes our shirt, that goes our right leg, um, right leg. So I'm not going to use a seam overlap. Torso looks like a little bit too much shadow as well. I'm gonna go ahead and go in here and fix that. Let's go ahead and increase it by half or close to half. Let's go down to 5. 5 looks too little. Let's go 4. Or sorry, 6. Let's go a little bit higher. Yeah, give it a light shadow here. That looks good. Let's go to our left leg. Hit the shadow button. Click on the effects. Am I on the effects of lower torso again? Oh no, I meant to not go lower torso. I meant to move on to the left leg. Double click on this. Click on the inner shadow properties. Again, I'm going to cut it in half because remember, we did scale Homer down by at least half. So let's go ahead and fix it by half, and it looks good. Just 5 and 5 looks good. I'm satisfied with that. Make sure you hit the OK button to make sure you save your results. Left arm should have a shadow. I think this is a mistake. So let's go ahead and fix that right now while we can. Um, or does the left arm have shadows piecewise? It has, oh, it has shadows on the left arm itself. No shadow on the left sleeve. So let's go ahead and check our right arm, and I'm sure we have an effect on the right sleeve that we can copy. So I'm just going to hold Control or hold Alt to duplicate a effect and drag that to the sleeve in case I missed it on the previous video. Okay, so just make sure that your left sleeve does have a shadow similar to the one on your right sleeve. Um, and by the way, we actually didn't fix the shadows on the left arm, so we're going to do that as well. So let's go ahead and check that real quick. Double click on our inner shadow. Um, our inner shadow for the, what we're clicking on here, the right sleeve. I don't have any issues with the left sleeve. I think the drop shadow could be a little bit smaller. So let's go about 3 pixels, right? Just give it a little bit distance. Let's decrease that down to 3. That looks good. Now let's go and go to the right arm. Click on its effect, inner shadow. I'm gonna go on half. Let's go 5. Let's go 5. Now we have a good shadow on our arms. Not too crazy. Okay, so we'll fix that, close that. Left arm, we added the effects for the left sleeve. The left arm actually has its own one. Let's go ahead and double check that. Make sure the numbers aren't too big here. Yep, we got 10 and 10. Let's go 5 and 5. I think we were happy with that, with the arm. So let's go ahead and turn that. We can always fix it later when we go to different frames. Let's go to the head. So the head has some pretty deep shadows here around the mouth and whatnot. Let's go ahead and click on the effects here and see if we can make it look a little better. For the inner shadows, I think it's a little bit too much. Again, you can kind of turn it deeper and kind of see how it affects. Let's go 100% and see where it affects. It's too much shadow going on here. I'm going to go about 10. Okay, give it a little bit of shadow on the outside, maybe a little bit more. Let's go 15. Okay, that looks good. Distance, let's go ahead and try 10 and see where we're at. So that just moves it up and down, and I'm just going to leave it at 5 or something. Just keep it low, maybe even 3. Okay, keep it low. And then after that, let's see what the spread is. Spread, and spread it around right about there. And now decrease it down so it's not so powerful. Give us, let's go 30%. Okay, if you want to increase, again, you want to, oops, not the distance. If you want to increase the spread, you're welcome to go increase it. I'm just going to give it something to give it some form, but not too crazy here. Not go overboard. Okay, and that looks good to me. I'm going to hit OK. I'm going to zoom out, and I think our Homer is ready to replicate. So we're going to replicate Homer over here, and we're going to align him and adjust him to our new Homer. Okay, so again, if you're on your keyboard, you can just hold Alt and drag him. But if you're on your Chromebook, just go ahead and right click and duplicate layer. Use the move tool, and you're going to click on the duplicate that you created, the entire thing, and you're going to go ahead and just use the move tool. Oh, I'm making a mistake here by clicking auto select, so make sure you turn off auto select if you're having the same issues I'm having. We're going to click on the entire frame and move the entire frame over. Now, when you move and duplicate frames, make sure you kind of reduce the opacity down, and you want to place it kind of just perfectly on top. Okay, and you really want to zoom in on the waist because that's where most of the alignment happens, is starting at the hips. So we're just going to move this here. And ooh, there's some problems with our previous model. Let's go fix that real quick. We have some previous problem with our previous model with our shirt. Let's see, there's something on the right collar. So yeah, on the right collar, when we scale it down, it might create artifacts like this. Just use the pen tool and use the path select tool first. See all the knots. Click on the pen tool, and you can, if you separate these knots just a little bit, or split them in opposite directions, it'll get rid of those artifacts. I'm going to go ahead and fix this on our current model. All right, let's go ahead and close this. Go here, go to the shirt, and fix this as well. Use the path select tool, see everything, click on that, click on the pen tool, And we're trying to get a grip of the handles. And try to grip that handle. There we go. So again, if you just split the handles away from each other, they will kind of stop doing that artifact thing that we created. Okay, and there we go. Let's go ahead and actually we're going to do this on the next video. We're just going to teach you guys how to um, fix this model in the next one. We're just going to stop here for this video. See you guys next video.